Ephesians chapter 3. I had to tell y'all that, man. Cause I don't know if some of y'all grew up like that, man. Niggas be sitting back thinking about them days. Them was simpler times then. All the niggas do just hanging out. Next thing we know, this world got hold to us and we were utterly corrupted. You know what I'm saying? Got utterly corrupted. Ephesians chapter 3 and about verse 8. Make it 7. He said, whereof I was made a minister, according to the gift of the grace of God given unto me by the effectual working of his power. Unto me, who am less than the least of all saints, is this grace given, that I should preach among the Gentiles the unsearchable riches of the Messiah, and to make all men see what is the fellowship of the mystery, which from the beginning of the world have been hid in God, who created all things by Yahshua HaMashiach, to the intent that now unto the principalities and powers in heavenly places might be known by the synagogue the manifold wisdom of God. This is why we here. That we might understand and know the manifold wisdom of God and the unsearchable riches of the Messiah. This is why we do this every week. This is why we sitting here right now. Now let's look at something in Galatians chapter 5 and about verse 16. Because, you know, like I told you, the brother brought it up. It had been in my mind. And before I bring it to them, I'm going to bring it to y'all. Everybody love to talk about the fruits of the Spirit. We're not looking at the fruits of the Spirit tonight. Lord we'll look at it on the Sabbath. We ain't looking at it tonight, though. He said, Galatians 5 and 16. He say, this I say then, walk in the Spirit. You shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts after against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that ye would. Yeah, come on, man, with all that, man. Get your big crusty behind out of here. I want y'all to come over here to Matthew 26 and about verse 39. And you still gonna stand right there. The people can see you, man. And people ain't trying to see no pigeons. He ain't got no eagle's wings. And 39. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he come unto the disciples and find them asleep, and saith unto Peter, what? Could you not watch with me for 1 hour? Watch and pray, that you enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Now we just heard Paul just sit back and reference something, because we know from John chapter 6, verse 63, the flesh profiteth nothing, it's the spirit that quicken. The words that I speak unto you are spirit and are life. We know from Romans chapter 8, those that are in the flesh, they cannot please God. Now he just sit back and tell you that. He say, you know, the flesh had you to do the things that you ought not. The spirit had you to do the things that you would. Let's look at James chapter 1, verse 12, just one more time just for clarity's sake. We looked at it the other day. Let's look at it one more time. You know, it ain't too many places in this book we ain't touched. If you've been rolling with it long enough, we done touched almost everything in here. Done read almost everything in here. But thank the Lord, you can always get something new. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempt he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bring forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bring forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. Now let's come over here and look at Ezekiel chapter 33. Because he said when a man do it, he said he do it when he enticed and drawn away of his own lust. It's his own desires that cause him to do the things that he ought not. That's why I tell you better watch and pray, because the spirit's willing. That flesh weak. That flesh want to do what it want to do. Ezekiel 33 and about verse 9. About verse 10. Therefore, O thou son of man, Speak unto the house of Israel, thus ye speak, saying, if our transgressions and our sins be upon us, and we pine away in them, how should we then live? Say unto them, as I live, saith Yah, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Turn ye from your evil ways, for why will you die, O house of Israel? Therefore, thou son of man, say unto the children of thy people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turned from his wickedness, neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sinned. So you know what he just told you? That righteous man, you better be able to endure that temptation so you can get that crown of life. Because if you go after your own lust, you're going to fall. Y'all didn't catch that? That's the same thing James just told you. And Ezekiel just told you the same thing, didn't it? I'll take that silence as y'all. Okay, now let's sit back what he said. Verse 13, when I shall say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust in his own righteousness and commit iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered. Before his iniquity that he have committed, he shall die for. Because if you didn't endure temptation, you trusted I could do this and ain't no problem with me doing it. That means you got a mind that's sudden telling you something you finna do is wrong, and you can override that. That's telling you not to do that. He say again, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, if he turn from his sin and do that which is lawful and right. If the wicked restore the pledge again that he have robbed, and walk in the statutes of life without committing iniquity, he shall surely live, he shall not die. None of his sins that he have committed shall be mentioned unto him. He have done that which is lawful and right, and he shall surely live. So that sounds like a man who would endure to receive that crown of life, now wouldn't it? Because he would actually love God. He would have endured the temptation. 1 Timothy chapter 4. This is somebody I know, he used to love to read this verse. He ain't never following it though. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 14. Somebody got to do something with your phone. Got a lot of noise going on. I can't work under these conditions. Make it verse 13. Make it 12. 1 Timothy 4 and 12. Let no man despise thy youth. Be thou an example of the believers in word, in behavior, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. So Paul is instructing Timothy to be an example of the word, be an example in behavior, in love, in the spirit, in belief, and in cleanliness. He say, but you need to make sure till I get there, you make sure you stay reading this book, you stay warning the people, you stay teaching the people. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on of the hands of the presbytery. What you think that mean when he sit back and say, neglect not the gift that was given thee, which is given to you by prophecy? What you think that could mean? Why would Paul say this? A gift that's in him because of prophecy. Hold on. Meditate upon these things. Meditate upon these things. Give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. You see, that's the same thing you just heard in Ezekiel. If you stay true to the thing that you heard, that you could be able to save yourself, because that's what Ezekiel 33 just said, right? And then not only save yourself, but to them that hear them, because you would be an example of manifesting that to the people. Just bear with me. That's going to work when we start dealing with the fruits of the Spirit. But what you think this man mean by don't neglect the gift that's in you that you got by prophecy? What do you think that could be talking about? What is that? No, man, mute your phone. Y'all tighten up, man. I shouldn't have to tell grown people the same thing week in and week out. Revelation chapter 19, verse 10. It sound like they got all types of stuff going off, man. I don't want to hear that stuff. This nigga here crazy. Revelation 19 and 10. Sit down somewhere, man. Eat your food.
Man, don't worry about me.
Man, don't nobody want to see you, man.
They gonna see me if I sit down and eat.
Okay, well, sit down and eat then. But you standing there because you want to see a nigga to see you because you been lifting some weight. You feeling good about yourself.
I got my shirt on, so
It don't even matter. But how you standing right there? You feeling good about yourself.
no, I was gonna give you something, but since you don't want
Okay, you can just wait. Just set it on to the side. Sit
Don't
down.
worry about it. Don't worry about it, Plum.
I
Don't
know.
worry about it.
Just sit on down. Just sit on down. Just sit on down. Huh? What? Well, I don't think, man, your wife don't want to be a widow and your children don't want to be no bastard.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna spend it. I got good use for it.
Yeah, I know it. You're going to spend it right where you go to, or I'm going to spend my foot straight up the crack of your behind.
Don't worry about it.
We're going to go down Hershey Highway with a good Timberland boot.
Get a big stick, size of your back, man.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even own a Timberland boot right now, but I'm going to go buy one from the store. He ain't going to have the real tree on there. It's going to be a leaning tree. Nigga say, just for the ceremony, that nigga ain't going to be no Timberland. He going to be a Wimbledon. I'm going to put my foot right off in your behind.
You better go buy a log.
I ain't buying no lugs. I ain't never wear no lugs. That's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I don't wear no lugs, man. I don't wear no lugs, man. I'm talking about even when they came out back in the day, man, I don't wear no lugs, man. Straight up, I'm good on that. I wasn't feeling them in the 90s, and I ain't feeling them now. I don't mess with them. But I seen a pair of Wallets, I sent them the T-boy, them things were hard, but it wanted $600 for them, though. They were freak nasty, though. Boy, my head ain't still. I mean, hey, they worth it. The craftsmanship he put on, Buddy's supposed to get them $400. The shoe $150, $180 on their own. But for the craftsmanship that he put to it, nigga got to pay him $400, $500 for it, just for what he did to him. Huh? I'm just saying, man, if I was him, I can understand why you would want that there for the work he put into it. I wish my hand was steady enough for me to be able to do it myself. Because Buddy did something to the shoe, man.
That's what I give him.
Now I'm saying I can do the dyed solid color. I seen how to do that there. That ain't that hard. You just need some painter's tape to wrap around the shoe and some suede dye, and you can dye on one solid color. Buddy dye the bottom, the gum bottom and all. He get off now. Yeah, he dye the bottom and all. Buddy get off now. Some white boy call him sycamore style. He gonna beat your head in for some of them shoes too. Revelation 19:10, he doing for them Timberland boots and all. He said, don't neglect the gift that's in you that you got by prophecy. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahshua. Worship God, for the testimony of Yahshua is the spirit of prophecy. Let's look at 2 Timothy 3:14 and another thing that Paul told to him. Good Lord, man, what is you niggas doing? So now we see Paul told him you don't need neglect or cast to the side or be disparaging of the gift that you got by prophecy and the laying on of hands. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, and knowing of whom thou hast learned them, and that from a child thou hast known the Kodesh scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through the faith which is in the Messiah Yahshua. Let's look at John 7:37, what we always like to look at, because he said he got this gift by prophecy. After that, we'll read Isaiah chapter 34. Pick me up about verse 12. Verse 12 come to mind. We'll see what it say after we read that John 7:37. Because he told him not to neglect. After we read Isaiah 34, we'll go to Hebrews chapter 2, verse 1 after that. We're going to get to these works of the flesh in a minute. Let me get around here to John chapter 7. But that's what y'all got to sit back. He telling this man, don't neglect the gift in you. Lord have mercy. Come on, Lee, you got to sit down. You in your pampers now. He say, in the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahshua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believe on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. But this spake he of the Spirit, which they that believe on him should receive, for the Ruach HaKodesh was not yet given, because that Yahshua was not yet glorified. So what is this gift that Paul is telling this man not to neglect? Hold on, let's see what that gift is. We'll get to it. Hold on, let's look at Isaiah 34. Somebody take their speakerphone off. That's the only thing that could be. I do not know how y'all do not think that stuff does not echo when you got other people on the phone talking to you. Make it about verse 15, 16, Isaiah 34 and 16. We don't need verse 12. Seek ye out the book of Yah and read. Ain't that what he just told him to do, to attend to reading and the exhortation and the doctrine until he comes? Did he also tell him to meditate on it too? After Isaiah 34, Psalms 1 and 1. Seek ye out the book of Yah and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them. And he cast them, and he have cast a lot for them, and his hand have divided unto them by line. They shall possess it forever from generation to generation, and they dwell therein. This man said to seek the book of Yah out and read. It makes sense why Paul would tell him to do that then, wouldn't it? To attend to reading till he get there, didn't it? Hold on, before we even get that there, Revelation chapter 1, verse 1. We'll come to Psalms 1 and 1, but Revelation 1 and 1. He's still going to get to Hebrews chapter 2. See, this is, and the reason why we looking at this, because I just was talking to y'all about stuff being above your pay grade. We also going to see the gift that Timothy had, because he was a preacher. You know what I'm saying? Anybody know what office that Timothy held? He wasn't no bishop. Never said Timothy was a bishop. Timothy was a minister, wasn't he? I mean, he was a teacher. I mean, he wasn't no bishop, because he told Timothy what the requirements of a bishop were, but it never says anywhere that Timothy was a bishop. Revelation 1 and 1. The revelation of Yahshua HaMashiach, which God gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bare record of the word of God, and of the testimony of Yahshua the Messiah, and of all the things that he saw. So if he bear record of the testimony of Yahshua, then he bear witness to prophecy then, didn't it? Because the testimony of Yahshua, the spirit of prophecy, right? Blessed is he that read, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein. For the time is at hand. Isn't that funny that he told Paul told Timothy, don't neglect the gift that's in you, meaning not to neglect the prophecy which you got by the testimony of Yahshua, which you can only get by believing on the testimony, which is the spirit that he would have been received because of that gift. He noticed he said the gift that was laid on with hands. You know what I'm talking about? See, you sit back and you can look at it. Hold on, let me do this here first. Psalms 1 and 1, because he told him to meditate on it too. Let me not get ahead of myself. Psalms 1 and 1. This is killing the food. Psalms 1 and 1. You know, we were talking with a brother about this today. That's what y'all don't be realizing. Y'all be wanting to, y'all go everywhere where sinners at, then try to use the excuse, I'm trying to win them to the word. Nigga, you trying to hang out. Nigga, stop it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Blessed is the man that walk not in the counsel of the ungodly. Some of you niggas will listen to sinners before you listen to anybody. That man say, now I'm just letting you know now, if you take your speakerphone off, what's wrong? I gotta keep telling y'all the same every week. And you think slide it on like I ain't gonna notice. The feedback gonna come every time. Huh? Yeah, I'm talking about every time somebody try to sneak it on in, the feedback coming through every time. Every time. It's not, you're not going to get away with it. It's not going to slide by. It's going to echo. It's going to reverberate in my ears, and it agitates me to no end. I would greatly appreciate it if you would cease and desist from doing it. Or as the brother so eloquently stated, which I told y'all before, just put it on mute then. Psalms 1 and 1. Blessed is the man that walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yah, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. You know in Psalm 119 it tells you, he said, I meditate in thy precepts, and they have quickened me. Y'all ever read that in Psalm 119 before? Let me see what it is. That Psalm made it Psalm 119. That ain't what I want. See, that's what you would sit back and look at. Now, it make a lot of sense why Paul would tell this man to attend to reading and to meditate in the word, now don't it? Because the scripture telling him to do it. See, now we're talking about preachers. Maybe some of y'all, I mean, it would apply with Pell and with Travis. I can't speak for the rest of you young men on here. Maybe one day the Lord might see fit to have you do it, but when you do it, you're supposed to have enough common sense to know you ought to be reading the word and meditating on it. So you might be able to attend the doctrine and show the people what's going on. Then you might not neglect the gift that you received by prophecy. Hebrews 2:1. Because the only way you're going to get the gift, you're going to have to believe on the Son, as the scripture has said. I can't hold you right now, Stanks. Go back there with your mother. Go with your mommy. All right, then. We'll stand right there. Just look in the camera then. Hebrews 2:1. Therefore, we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. That means you wouldn't neglect the gift that's in you. See, a lot of y'all neglect the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh of bringing forth the word. I ain't saying you possess it. I'm talking about the word that's being brought forth by. You neglect it. It's not precious to you. Anytime the word of God comes, you don't understand. That's the gift of salvation every time the word is preached. Y'all don't pay it no attention because you don't care. Just like I say, you'll sit around and like this here, that, there, and the other. Some of y'all know how y'all act when somebody ain't looking or the right people around. Okay then. For if every word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received the just recompense or reward, how shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation, which at the first began to be spoken by the Lord, and was confirmed unto us by them that heard it? How you going to be able to get away with that? Now he said, now, where can we see something of justification of sitting back? He said a gift that you got on by the laying on of hands. Let's look at Acts chapter 19. See if Acts 19 what I want. Acts chapter 19, verse 1. Acts chapter 19 and verse 1. Y'all all right? All right, Acts chapter 19, verse 1. And it came to pass that while Apollos was at Corinth, Paul, having passed through the upper coast, came to Ephesus, finding certain disciples. He said unto them, have you received the Ruach HaKodesh since ye believed? And they said unto him, we have not so much as heard whether there be any Ruach HaKodesh. And he said unto them, unto what then were you baptized? And they said, unto John's baptism. Then Paul said, John truly baptized with the baptism of repentance, saying unto the people that they should believe on him which should come after him, that is, on the Messiah Yahshua. And when they heard this, they were baptized in the name of the Lord Yahshua. And when Paul had laid his hands upon them, the Ruach HaKodesh came on them, and they spake with tongues and prophesied. So we seeing what he's sitting here telling them, the gift that he got by the laying on of hand, because we see Paul doing it. Of him receiving that gift which he received by prophecy. Because the only way that they would be able to get it is because they believed what was already testified aforehand before the world was made. Of the Son. Because he said, I told you the end from the beginning. Isaiah 46 and 10. Isaiah 46 and 9. Make it 8. Remember this, and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, there is none else. I am God, there is none like me. Then we just read last week how there wasn't nobody like him, no name under heaven under men, which men must be saved. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, I will do all my pleasure. That's why the Messiah came and told you, I told you things before they happen, so that when they happen, you might believe. You know, in the 48th chapter of the book of Isaiah, he sat back and he said, I told you these things before they happened, and I did them suddenly. He said, lest you would open your mouth and say, my idol did it, or my graven image did it. But I could already tell you these things before they occur, that you might believe. See, all these things, this testimony of Yahshua, all these things is to get, or you be able to get the gift of God, which you can only get from prophecy. The only prophecy brothers like to talk about is end time prophecy. They don't want to talk about the prophecy of the Son, which will actually save a man's soul alive. That's what preachers should be sitting back. That's what we started at in Ephesians looking at. The unsearchable riches of the mystery of the Messiah made known to the body. The people who's supposed to make it known to the body is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 9. Because he said, let's let not neglect the gift that's in thee. So let's see what the gift that's in them. Matter of fact, let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 12 first. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 27. He's being attacked by muffins. Now ye are the body of the Messiah, and members in particular. God hath set some in the body, first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, after that miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversity of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret? But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way. Now he's steady talking about all these gifts. So he told him not to neglect the gift that's in him. What was Timothy? He was a teacher. Let's look and see. Let's go back to 1 Timothy chapter 1 Timothy 1 and 1. Matter of fact, make it 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 1. Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in the Messiah Yahshua, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses. The same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahshua HaMashiach. No man that war entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. Now y'all know verse 15 got every Hebrew favorite verse. Y'all know what 2 Timothy 2 and 15 say. Who know what verse 15 say without looking? I know some of y'all done looked already. Who know what 2 Timothy 2 and 15 say without looking? Study to show yourself approved. But what's the next thing he said? As a workman. Timothy was a laborer or a teacher of the word. That's why he told him, don't neglect the gift that's in you. Not only just the gift of being able to teach, but the gift of the Spirit that's in him, that reside in him. That's why he told you, the things that I taught you, commit them to faithful men, so that they might be able to teach others, that not only by being an example in love and in faith and in word and in behavior, that you might be able to save yourself and others. Now just sit back and look at it. Now you might not end up being no teacher, but if the gift of God is before you, don't neglect it. Don't take it for granted. Do just, even if you ain't no teacher of the word, and that's not your thing to be doing, because it's just being mentioned because we were talking about niggas doing stuff above their pay grade. You still ought to meditate in the word. You still ought to attend under reading. Acts 17 and 9. This is why you ought to attend under reading. Make it 10. And the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so. Don't it sound like the people might have been meditating on the word? Don't it sound like them people were attending under reading? That means you need to be doing the same thing. Ephesians chapter 5. Galatians 5, pardon me. Let's get to what we need to look at this evening. That's why you need to sit back and look at the difference of walking in the flesh and walking in the spirit. When you're walking in the flesh, you're not giving yourself over to reading, nor meditating in the word, nor walking in it. Because the flesh can take you right on off the end because you've been trusted in yourself and saying, well, I've been doing good. I can go do this here. No, you ain't going to do that there. That also go on to, he said, when a righteous man trusts in his own righteousness and commit iniquity thereby, he said, in the wickedness we commit, that would he die, right? I go back there, if we commit sin willfully, there remain no more sacrifice for sin. Galatians 5 reads verse 16 yet again. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. These things are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that ye would. You know, when I sit back and look at it, just come to mind. When you sit back and you look at it, he say the flesh is contrary to the spirit. And we sit back and we look at with Ishmael and with Isaac. You know what I'm saying? Ishmael mocking Isaac, to where the flesh had to be, the child of the bondwoman had to be cast to the side because the things that ought to need to be accomplished wasn't going to be able to be accomplished as long as that carnal person was there. You know what I'm saying? I got to get rid of you. You've got to walk in the spirit, because this child here is the seed of the promise. If we allow the child, the seed of the flesh, if we allow the flesh to continue to reside in this house, we're not going to be able to do the things that we ought, because this person is going to mock and be a hindrance to allowing these things to be accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Even just looking at the story of Isaac and Ishmael, you can see that. Because he said, he told Abraham, don't be upset at the counsel of your wife or the lad. Get him out of there. Because if you walk in the flesh and you keep this flesh in your house, you're not going to be able to do the things I told you to do. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing when he talking about, hold on. We'll go back and look at it. Genesis 21. We did go back and look at it. After that, Romans chapter 6. All right, listen. Look like you're really in tune. Genesis 21, verse 8.
I just stopped.
And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah, the son of Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. God had said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad and because of the bondwoman, and all that Sarah hath said unto thee. Hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So he's telling her to cast this bondwoman or this flesh out of her house, right? Get it out. Romans chapter 6 by verse 14. In fact, let me back that up. All right, verse 14 is good. Matter of fact, make it about verse 11. Likewise, reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto God through Yahshua HaMashiach our Lord. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that you should obey it in the lust thereof. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as the instruments of righteousness unto God. You know what's important about those who will be alive? Hold on, let me read that again. Those that are alive from the dead. You know why that's important? Now, he just told you don't let sin reign in your mortal body, would mean you would have to cast it out, right? Now, why would it be important, what we just looked at in Genesis 21 about those that are alive from the dead? Well, let's look at Genesis chapter 18 and let's see why that would be important, as those that are alive from the dead. Genesis 18. Make sure that's what I want. Genesis chapter 18. Genesis 18 and 11. Says, now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And Yah said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for Yah? At the time appointed I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Now, why you think that's important? Why we just looked at that? Going along with what we read in Romans chapter 6. Anybody? Pretty sharp there, buddy. Pretty sharp there, man. Anybody ever told you that? They lied to you, though. What you saying to say? Huh? Absolutely. Absolutely. He can bring to life that which is dead. He can bring to life that which is dead. Because, you know, another place it talked about how Sarah's womb was dead. I think it's in the book of Hebrews. Now, he said as those that are alive from the dead. So why is that important about those that's alive from the... Hold on, y'all. Let's see who called, dropped it. Oh, got to call back. Hold on. All right. Y'all can swing back over here to Romans chapter 6. The call dropped on it. Why is that important about those being as those that are dead actually being alive? Why is that important? Not only that there, absolutely. Not only that there, but let's look at that Romans chapter 6 and verse 13 one more time. Squat him.
See, Liz.
He said neither. Oh yeah, she did that earlier. Did she jump? Listen what it said. Neither yield your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as the instruments of righteousness unto God. Sarah had pretty much just let it be known, my womb is dead. How am I going to bring forth fruit? My womb is dead. But yet he told her, after she had done brought forth Isaac, which is the seed of the promise, right? Which would be the seed of life, that even though that was dead, life came out of that. Because she said it had done passed to a time after the manner of women, right? And then he just sat back and said, as yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead. And what did he tell Abraham to do? To yield himself to the child that pertained to life and get the child that pertained to death out the house, didn't it? So that's what you need to sit back and look at. You need to start don't let sin reign in your mortal body. You got to sit back and do the same thing Abraham did. Let me get this bondwoman out my house. Let me get this flesh out my house. Let me get this sin out my earthly tabernacle, that I don't sit back and let sin reign in my mortal body. I know some of y'all like to play that game and be screaming about, well, can I do anything right? What I'm doing? Don't you know anytime you got somebody say something to you, you got to say, well, what I'm doing wrong, you already know what you're doing when you make that statement? How many of you would agree with that? Yeah, you say what I'm doing wrong, you already know what you're doing wrong. You just want me to say it to you. Or you want the person you saying it to say it to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know. I be telling you all the time, the book done showed you plenty of time, you be judging yourself. When they say, are you the Messiah? Tell us. He said, you say it. Nigga, you already know I ain't. How many times y'all done been on there on the phone and you heard somebody say this here, man, and I be like, well, who is this talking about? You gonna say it's talking about Jesus Christ. I ain't saying we're talking about anybody. You just did. I asked you, who is this talking about? You the one that saw fit to volunteer an answer. I didn't tell you. You could have said it's talking about such and such. I may have disagreed with you. You know what I'm saying? But you off the rip said, it ain't talking about Jesus. I know that. So you know it is then. It ain't talking about your Yahshua, so you know it is. Or like they say, it ain't about JC. You acknowledging that you know that it is, and you trying to explain away how it isn't. The same way when somebody brings something to you, you be like, well, what am I doing? You know what you're doing wrong. You trying to explain it away to yourself that you're not doing it. The grapes got on 10. Come on back to Ephesians chapter 5. Matter of fact, hold on. Those that are alive from the dead, from a womb that was dead. John chapter 19. You already know what it is. John 19 and 30. 19:31. We'll just get straight to that. Well, we read 30. When Yahshua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. The Jews therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath day was a high day, besought Pilate that the legs might be broken, that he might be taken away. Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first, and the other which were crucified with him. But when he came to Yahshua and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs. But one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith came there out blood and water. So now we sit back and see there's a womb open with him that's dead just like Sarah. His womb was dead because he was dead. But let's see if he turned around and have life in that same womb. Come over here to Galatians chapter 4 and verse 1. And guess what he had to end up doing? He cast off the bondwoman too. He cast off the bondman too. Galatians 4 and 1. He did the same thing. He say, thou I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differing nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all. Because Isaac was the heir of all. He differed nothing than anybody else. But is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father. Even so, when we were children, we were in bondage under the elements of the world. But when the fullness of time would come, God sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law. This is another reason why you got to sit back and you see it talk about this man being born of a virgin. Because how else he going to come in? Isaac to see the promise he was born of a woman. The man had to come through a woman. He say to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. And because you are sons, God hath sent forth the spirit of his son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father. So now he done sent forth that spirit into you. So guess what? When the son rose from the dead, you don't think he put off that fleshly body? Or that bondage of the world? Put off this flesh? You think he put that off? Or you think he came with it? Or you think he kept that body? What you think? What you think he kept that body? What you think? Think he kept it? Well, we
tell because he did say, "Behold, with my hand."
Yeah, but he also told him flesh and bone. He say flesh and bone ain't got spirit, like ain't got. He say flesh and bone.
But I mean, he lost the blood though.
Yeah, but guess what that mean? He got a different body. He was shining, glory. He say, great is the mystery of godliness. Say the Son of God was manifested, preached in the world, and received unto glory. Because when they sat back and seen that man shining like the sun. You know what I'm talking about? Shining like the sun. His face was like the sun. We already know that there. He said the countenance of the king faces as the sun. That's what Solomon told you. So then we sit back and see the difference. I done got rid of that bondman. I put their flesh off. Put a heavenly tabernacle on, not made without hand, made of the Lord. You know what I'm talking about? Now that womb that was dead, it's alive. Now I can bring forth children. How do we know that? Because the people who rose from the dead in Matthew 27 after his resurrection. My womb was dead, now it's alive. I can bring forth children, just like Sarah did. Right? You feel me? You call it what you want. I just look like a baseball player.
No, you look nothing like a baseball player.
Yeah, I
feel baseball player sauce coming way up there.
Hey, these come as high as they want. Straight up and down. Y'all feel me? Y'all understand that? Okay, come on back to Galatians. Oh, we right there where we need to be. Galatians chapter 5. So I just need to see, y'all need to see that there. You're going to have to come through the womb that was dead, but now is alive.
Sweat shins.
My shins don't sweat.
Shins sweated in them.
My shins don't sweat. Back on my knees do.
Super sweaty.
They smell like turkey bacon, nigga.
Super sweaty shins. That's Say that 3 times fast.
No, I shall not. But I'll tell you this here. These are moisture wicking. These are performance socks, sir.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got the socks ain't on the shins. But you got the sweatpants
No,
on the
I got
shins.
Iron Man on. Iron Man.
You got the sweatpants on the
Iron Man.
shins. Therefore, you got sweaty shins.
Tony Starks. Tony Starks. You know what I'm saying? Billionaire nigga. I got rockets in my suit. All right now.
Come on. You don't have to do that.
That's how it happens to you. Galatians 5:17. He say, for the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. But if you be led of the spirit, you are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revilings, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I've told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Now, we ain't going to look at all of them, but we going to look at some of them. We not going to look at all of them, but we going to look at some of them. And I want y'all to sit back and let's see how some people who actually did these things and how it's going to cost you your soul if you doing them too. Let's look at uncleanliness and lasciviousness. Even fornication could be wrapped up into it. 2 Samuel, 13th chapter. Let's look at some of these works of the flesh. Let's see where Paul get this stuff from. 2 Samuel 13:1. And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister whose name was Tamar, and Ammon, the son of David, loved her. Ammon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin. And Ammon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, and Jonadab was a very subtle man. So guess what that means? He was an old deceitful nigga, old crafty nigga. Running game all the time. He said unto him, why art thou, being the king's son, lean from day to day? Will thou not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother's Absalom's sister. Jonadab said unto him, lay down on thy bed and make thyself sick. And when thy father come to see thee, say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come and give me meat, and dress the meat in my sight, that I may see it and eat it at her hand. So Amnon lay down and made himself sick. And when the king was come to see him, Amnon said unto the king, I pray thee, let Tamar, my sister, come and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat at her hand. Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, go now to my brother Amnon's house and dress his meat. Hold on, y'all. Just threw me all off guard. That's that dude who was Gold is saying he don't get off till 9 o'clock, which I believe is about 7 minutes from now. His time. Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, go now to thy brother's house, Amnon's house, and dress him meat. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laid down. She took flour and kneaded it, and made cakes in his sight, and did bake the cakes. And she took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat. And Amnon said, out of all men from me, they went out every man from him. And Amnon said unto Tamar, bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them into the chamber of Amnon her brother. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her, and said unto her, come lay with me, my sister. She answered him, nay, my brother, do not force me. For no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not this follow.
Lizzie, hush it up.
Listen. Hush that noise. I'm trying to work. She gonna suck it up. Now you sit back and you look at this here. We know the law say you ain't supposed to be laying with your sister, right? Okay, so that's why he told us, said, don't you do none of that type of stupidity. Let's see what happened. And whither I shall cause my shame to go. And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee. Howbeit he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love wherewith he had loved her. And Amnon said unto her, arise and be gone. Unfortunately, I know some of y'all women, y'all done had that happen to y'all in y'all lifetime. Nigga talk real sweet. They probably ain't rape you like this nigga did. Because that's what he just did. He just raped this woman. You know, what y'all actually just seen was an example of lasciviousness or uncleanliness. Because lasciviousness is just another word for lust. His lust overcame him that he did, so he was even warned. See, he was under temptation, but he didn't endure it and resist it. You know what I'm talking about? Did he resist it? That nigga took something, didn't he? Then get what happened after he got it. I hate this hoe. Some of y'all done got did like that too. Y'all done let a nigga sweet talk you out your draw, and as soon as he got it, he told you, I don't know how you getting home. You better go somewhere. And now you sat there with a wet behind and a dry pocket, looking more food than a wife a mule, wondering what just happened. You ever did somebody like that? Yeah, you look like one of them type of niggas. Get out my house. I think...
I ain't blatantly kicked nobody out, but I mean, niggas knew what time it was.
Yeah, get out of here.
Man, I ain't sweet talk nobody.
Now, I'm going to tell y'all something, man. So a lot of y'all women don't be realizing and be understanding and knowing this. Man, a lot of times nigga tell you all they want to hear to get your draw. Once he done got that vagina, I shoot, I done got what I wanted. You can go. I don't want nothing to do with you no more. Don't talk to me no more.
They knew what to play with me.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all don't be no fool now. This is what he said. She said unto him, there is no cause. This evil in sending me away is greater than the other that thou did unto me, but he would not hearken unto her. Do y'all know what ended up happening to Amnon? Yeah, that's what happened to him. Because when she came and told him what the lick read, David was very upset. Look at verse 22 of this same chapter. Because he said you want to inherit the kingdom of God. If you want to inherit the kingdom of God, that means you will be killed. Absalom spake unto his brother Amnon, neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated Amnon because he forced his sister Tamar. So let's drop on down and let's see what happened to him about verse 27. Make it 26. Then said Absalom, if not, I pray thee, let my brother Amnon go with us. And the king said unto him, why should he go with thee? But Absalom pressed him, that he let Amnon and all the king's son go with him. Now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, mark ye now, when Amnon's heart is merry with wine, and when I say unto you, smite Amnon, then kill him. Fear not. Have I not commanded you? Be courageous and be valiant. And the servants of Absalom did unto Amnon as Absalom commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and everyone gat up upon his mule and fled. And it came to pass, while they were in the way, that tidings came to David, saying, Absalom hath slain all the king's sons, and there is not one of them left. Then the king arose and tore his garments and lay on the earth, and all his servants stood by with their clothes rent. Now Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, answered and said, let not my lord suppose that they have slain all the young men, the king's son, for Amnon only is dead. For by the appointment of Absalom have this been determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar. Now therefore let not my lord the king take this thing to heart, to think that all the king's sons are dead, for Amnon only is dead. Do y'all know that there's a testimony in the Lord on what y'all just read? Well, what y'all think that testimony is and what you just heard of what happened? Dwight, you got an idea? I'm going to go back and I'm going to run it back a little bit. It said, when this man's heart be merry with wine, smite him, kill him, and after he was killed, all the king's sons, every man got on his mule and left. Well, let's sit back and see then. Guess what now? Because he said lasciviousness and lust and uncleanness, you ain't getting in the kingdom now. You can't get in. John chapter 19, verse 20. John chapter 18, verse 28. Let's sit back and look at something if these people were defiled or not, because they were worried about not going in the judgment hall being defiled when they were already unclean when they got there because their hearts was unclean. They had hatred in their heart for their brother, which we're going to turn around and look at the hatred too.
You know what's going on there.
And it says, then led they Yahshua from Capheus unto the hall of judgment, and it was early, and they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but they might eat the Passover. Come back to Matthew 27. Let's see it, 26. Let's see if the Lord drunk some wine and was married. And then after he was married, they smited him that he died. Matthew 26 by verse, what are we at here? By verse 27. You know, I don't see nothing funny. Stank. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for the many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. And when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. You don't think they sung that hymn? He was pretty merry in heart. You know, you be pretty happy in your heart after you sing a hymn, don't you? How many of y'all sing spiritual songs and you be happy after you sing? Huh? Cord just recorded him about 15 seconds of one the other day. That was yesterday. We're pretty nice too. You know what I'm saying? Now we know David always wrote songs and sung songs under y'all, right? Come on around here to Colossians chapter 3. Somebody got wind blowing. Or is that your breath? Colossians 3 and 16. We come back to Matthew. Y'all should have been done got it together. Because the king's son sat back and drank their wine. And he was merry in his heart. You got to remember what Amnon did is what Amnon did. When I was sitting back looking at the king's son, and we know Yahshua is what? The king's son. He drunk wine. He was merry in heart. He said when he get merry in heart after he drink their wine, smite him and kill him. We already done read in John 19 where he was smited and killed. The man told you don't neglect the gift that's in you by prophecy. Attend unto reading and meditate on it. He said, let the word of the Messiah dwell in you richly in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahshua, giving thanks to God and the Father by him. Now, I was talking to Goldie about that earlier. Y'all know that I'm not adverse to people saying the name of Jesus, but you know we don't actually use it. How many times y'all ever heard me read and I say it? How many times y'all ever heard me read and I say it? How many times you ever hear me in conversation use it on a regular basis? You know why we ain't never did that to anybody who been around me long enough? Go ahead and tell them, Pell, in case they don't know. I know you know Pell. Go ahead and tell them in case you don't know. Because Pell been around. I say, anybody know? I say, you know, anytime we read, you always hear when you say you use the name Yahshua. You could go all the way back to the videos from 2012 and see that. Wouldn't you say what? You're a real douchebag right now. I mean, I'm not like to say, I done told y'all before, I'm not going to argue with nobody. If they in conversation saying Jesus and all this, that, there, and the other. I done told you before, when you pray or with baptism and certain things like that there, the name Yahshua need to be used. I would never, you know what I'm saying? Not just because of Acts chapter 4, not the issue. Because I can find that name in this book. I'm talking about testified of. I can find it with Joshua, son of Nun. The book tell you before he changed his name to Joshua, the man's name was Yehoshua. I can find that in here. I can find the name Yahshua in the book of Ezra, with Joshua, the high priest. I can find that in here. You know what I'm saying? I can find that right in the book of Ezra, man. I can find that in Zechariah. That's why. See, we were talking with... That's why. That's why. Because I can actually find it in this book. You know what I'm saying? Even in the English form, I can still find the name Yahshua in this book. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Because I was talking with a brother earlier, because there's some congregation, was a congregation in Chicago, them niggas will go crazy. What name is greatest among the heathen? Jesus! No, nigga. Them white folks, you done took that 501c3 money, you can't say nothing but Jesus. Them white folks ain't gonna let you say nothing else. You don't notice all the niggas that take that money, none of them say Yahshua? None of them. All of them that took that money, don't none of them say Yahshua or Yehoshua. Now, one of them. Now, one of them. You got two, well really five, because four of them is really branched off the same thing. They all say, they'll fight you tooth and nail by Jesus. That's why the dude that Pale came up under, that's why he separated from IOG in the first place, because of that very matter. Because they ardent with that. You got niggas in New York saying you ain't got to know it, and the rest of them niggas speaking halfway Japanese, talking about the man named Yahushua. Niggas say, man, you can't even spell that, nigga. Nigga said, nigga talking about, you said, the nigga said, did you say a Kawasaki? What is you talking about? Nigga said, I thought, you know what I'm saying? That's the same way, since y'all don't know, that's why you don't hear me say Yahweh or Yahweh or Yahuwah. I can't read that. I can go to Psalm 68 and 4 and say, call me by my name, Yah. I can read that. That's why. That's why. Matter of fact, since I said it, Ezra chapter 3. Since I said it, well, I'm going to go ahead and read it to you since I said it. Go, Delta, that was coming out my mouth before you even son it. Ezra 3 and 1. I done told it to you. I might as well go ahead and show it to you. Ezra 3 and 1. And when the 7th month was come, and the children of Israel were in the cities, and the people gathered themselves together as one man to Jerusalem, one body gathered to Jerusalem. Let's see who stood up. Then stood up Joshua, Yahshua. Look how it's spelled. The son of Jehozadak and his brethren, the priests, Zerubbabel, the son of Shalathiel, and his brethren, and look what they doing. Builded the altar of God of Israel to offer burnt offerings thereon, as it is written in the law of Moses, the man of God. Because Peter told you and sat back and said, we a spiritual house to offer spiritual offerings by Yahshua HaMashiach that's acceptable unto God. Same thing you read in Ezra. Man, name right here. That's why we use that name. It's right here in the book. Well, let's look at Zechariah 5 and 1. Ezra 5 and 1. Let's see if we see it again. Then the prophets Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the son of Edu prophesied unto the Jews that were in Judah and Jerusalem in the name of God of Israel, even unto them. Then rose up Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel, and there it is again. And Yahshua the son of Jehozadak began to build the house of God, which is at Jerusalem, and with them were the prophets of God helping them. And guess what you ain't know? Zerubbabel, that's Peter. Come on back to the book of Numbers. We read this, the rock. You got dudes thinking Zerubbabel coming back to build the house for real. And in some instances, when they're talking about Zerubbabel, they're talking about the Lord. So come on. Let me see. Number 14, what I want. Numbers 13 and 16. I just read y'all this the other day. You probably ain't catch it. That's why we use the name Yahshua. We can find it right here in the book. It's right here. He say, these are the names of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses called Oshay, the son of Nun, Yehoshua. Yahshua. It's right there in the law. He changed his name. And say, you, y'all, salvation, because this the man he chose to bring the people in the land to give them rest. But he told you if Yahshua, son of Nun, had given them rest, he wouldn't have spoke of another day. That's why he had to change the man's name to that. That's in the law. That's in the law. Zechariah chapter 3, just for one more place. It's right here in the law. I'm telling you, we just don't use that name just to use it, because I can show it to you right out the book. We just showed it to you out the law of prophet. What our law say? Out the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, what? So there it is. So there it is. So there it is. You know, a lot of Hebrew Israelites will use that logic, which they ain't wrong. But we went back 2,000 years ago and you went to talking to them who Jesus is. They gonna look at you like, nigga, I don't know what you talking about. I ain't never heard of that person. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea who that is. Zechariah 3:1, and he showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the angel of Yah, standing at his right hand to resist him. This is the same Joshua, Yahshua, that you read about in Ezra. Psalm 68:4. Just so y'all can know. That's why you always hear me say y'all, because y'all might be seeing people, they say Yahuwah. Why they use that name? Use that name because I can't tell you why they use that name. I'm going to tell you why I use y'all. I knew off the rip. I can go in the book and show you this. He say, sing unto God. Sing praises to his name. Extol him that ride upon the heaven by his name, Yah. And rejoice before him. Now, that's it. That's the killer. That's over with. Now let's look at another word. That's just so y'all know. That's why we ain't got to go in no translations or go to no strong concordances or none of that. We can, but why when the book telling us what it is? Why I need to do all of that? Why the man told you? That man say, neglect not the prophecy that you got the gift from. That means don't neglect what the word say. He say, attend yourself to reading, exhortation, doctrine, and meditate on them things. Well, Yahshua right there in the law. Then I can read it in the prophets. What more I need? Niggas around here talking about a higher in Yeshaya. Where you get that from? I can't read that in here. Niggas say, where you get Yahweh Shai from? Nigga, I can't read that in here. Come on back to Galatians chapter 5. That's just so y'all know that stuff. That's just so you know. Only reason that came to my mind, because I was talking to Goldie about the very same matter. Them people take that money. You'll never, how many of y'all done ran across congregation you know got 501c3 and they use the name Yahshua? I ain't ran across one yet. If you don't know what 501c3 is, that means they tax exempt. I ain't ran across them. I ain't ran across them. All of them say Kawasaki or they say Jesus. Now I'm gonna show y'all witchcraft. I'm gonna show you the work of the flesh being witchcraft. Because witchcraft would be what? What does the book tell us another thing for witchcraft would be? Rebellion. Jeremiah chapter 28. 28 and 14. Give me your thumb. Bum, bum, bum. 28 and 12. Jeremiah 28 and 12. We done looked at lasciviousness and uncleanliness and basically fornication in one word, right? I didn't go back to it, but I got to finish that last part. Thank the Lord. He said all the men got on their tents and they fled. All the sons of God got on their mules and they left. The sons of the king, I should say. I'll sit back and show you that. Because we done already showed how the king's son was smit after he drunk and was happy. We showed how after the Lord drunk, he was happy, he was married because he drunk that cup and he sung a hymn. Amnon got drunk on wine. He drunk that wine, he was married, and after that he was smited mortally that he died, and then everybody left. You should already know where it's at. You know their word. Then the word of Yah, yep, there you go. Then the word of Yah came under Jeremiah the prophet. After that, Hananiah the prophet had broken the yoke from off the neck of the prophet Jeremiah. Go and tell Hananiah, saying, thus saith Yah, thou hast broken the yokes of wood, but thou shalt make them for yokes of iron. For thus saith Yah of hosts, the God of Israel, I have put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and they shall serve him. I have given him the beasts of the field also. Then said the prophet Jeremiah unto Hananiah the prophet, hear now, Hananiah, Yah have not sent thee, but thou make this people to trust in a lie. Therefore thus saith Yah, Behold, I will cast thee from off the face of the earth. This year thou shalt die, because thou hast taught rebellion against Yah. So Hananiah the prophet died the same year, the 7th month. Remember, he said these people will not inherit the kingdom of God. Amnon killed, Hananiah killed, by showing the works of the flesh with his witchcraft and with his lasciviousness and with his uncleanliness and with his fornication. You will not get it. You know what I'm talking about? Come on back to Galatians. Let me finish it here, John chapter 19. Finish it right here, John 19. John 19. We got to show you when the people got up. It's the same thing that's in 2 Samuel 20. Oh, Israel, go home, go to your tents. We have no part of David. It's John chapter 19. Let me not use John 19. Let me see if Luke might have what I'm looking for, the word in that I'm looking for specifically. Let me see, is it Mark? Is it Mark? It's probably was Matthew the first time. You know, most of that stuff being Matthew, because you know he go in great detail in Matthew. Matthew 27. Matthew 27. Let's look at about verse 57. And when the evening was come, there was a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who himself also was Yahshua's disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Yahshua. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, laid it in his own new tomb, which had hewn out of the rock, rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre, and departed. And now you sit back and look at it. After the man had drunk and be married, everybody went on their way. Hey, check this out, man. A little muffin. When do y'all come here? So you sit back and look at that. After the Lord died, what did these people home? They went home to keep the Sabbath, right? So after he drank, hey, put 20 with the pot and 20 with the feast, please. And make sure Little Muffin remember to get them $50 out to put with that feast money, please.
The rest go to not a Negro white fund.
I don't know how you white and a Negro.
No, Caesar White is my name.
I don't know how you white and a Negro. I don't know how that works. I ain't never seen no white Negro.
Oh, she ain't tell you them people still ain't take that cash out.
Who, for that room?
Yeah.
All right.
She's been calling them and calling them and calling them.
And they still ain't dead.
Then she finally got in touch with somebody about it or whatever. But,
No.
I told her she better than me. I wouldn't have kept calling.
Yeah, me either. Because guess what?
I ain't about to keep calling you to give you your money.
Straight up and down. I ain't finna be beating the nigga across the head. We'll keep them 175. Put it right back in the pot.
That's exactly what I told you.
You know what I'm saying? No, he say Little Muffin been calling them people, and people still ain't took the money out for Pentecost. And we been paid, we been went up there for it. She said she been calling the people for them to take the money out. They still ain't took it out. They ain't gotta take it out. We'll take it out and put it right back with the pot. You keep on playing with it, 'cause I tried to pay. I ain't finna be around here begging a nigga to take your money. Nigga said, and we went ahead of time too now. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, put that 170.
She kept calling us before
and after.
and after.
Yeah, take that money out. They ain't got to take it. Get what? Just let it sit right there.
We'll wait about another week. I'll wait about another week or so.
Yeah, they let it sit right now. They make sure they let it sit there. If it's still there after a while, they thank the Lord.
Yeah, straight up. That was the only thing I said. When she said they didn't do it, I was like, oh.
They let it sit right there. They let it sit right there. Cause it's been a week since Pentecost. Shoot, week and a half. They let it sit there. Don't take it out. They let it sit there. Because if they mess around and come get it, they come get it. If not, just tell her, just take the $50 out. That was over. Because she brought $225 and it was $175. So then you take that 50 and put it back with that feed money. And then leave that 175 in there. And if they don't come get it, we'll show them what to do with it. We'll show them what to do with it. Because, hey, she done did her due diligence and did her part. And you done told them people to pay. Hey, get your money, get your money. They don't want to get it. You can't beg them to get it.
Straight up.
You can't make them take it.
We're going to sleep.
Now let's look at another work of the flesh, because now we done identified witchcraft and we done identified fornication. Now let's identify variance. Numbers 16. You know what to be variant is? That means just to be contrary for no reason. Let's see if these people did this here, and let's see what happened to them. Number 16 and 1. Like I said, I ain't gonna hit all of them. We're gonna hit some of them. We're going to hear envyings. We probably going to hear murders. I'm trying to hold up. I might have to carry it into another day because I'm almost at my limit. It's almost 9:30. Number 16:1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abraham, the sons of Elab, and On, the son of Pelab, and the sons of Reuben, took men. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. There go variance right there. They opposed to this man. Let's see why. And they said unto them, you take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation of Kodesh, every one of them, and Yah is among them. Wherefore then lift up yourselves above the congregation of Yah. So also they go a little envy right there too. Wouldn't that sound like a little envy right there too? And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow Yah will show who are his and who is Kodesh, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he have chosen will he cause to come near unto him. So when we drop on down, and we come on around here, and we look at verse 8 of number 16, let's see what he tells. And Moses said unto Korah, hold on, look at verse 7, look at verse 6. This do, take ye censers, Korah, and all his company, put fire therein, put incense before Yah tomorrow, and it shall be the man whom Yah doth choose, he shall be Kodesh. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. And Moses said unto Korah, hear I pray you, ye sons of Levi. Seem it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of Yah, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. He hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee. Seek ye the priesthood also? For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against Yah. And what is Aaron that you murmur against him? Because he that despiseth not man, but God. And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram and the sons of Elab, which said, we will not come up. Let me say, we ain't got nothing to do with this here. You know what I'm talking about? All the men that came up with Korah, when Moses told them, so y'all witness here too? Said, no, we ain't witness here. He ain't coming up here. They backed up off of it real quick. He said, it is a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of a land that flow with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us. Now let's drop on down to verse 16. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before Yah, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man his censer and put incense in them, and bring ye before Yah every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also and Aaron each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer and put fire in them and laid incense thereon, and stood the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the glory of Yah appeared unto all the congregation. And Yah spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? See, these niggas always sit back and talk about, oh, another man can't die for your sin. But we can read in this book, one man error can cost many people their life. That's it. Yes, it did. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest you be consumed in all their sin. That's why the Lord told you, beware the leaven of the scribes and Pharisees, which is hypocrisy, lest you die with them. That's why he sat back and told you they did Matthew 23. I'm gonna show you something. This what Korah and were doing. They did the same thing here that's in Matthew 23. Matthew 23. About verse 14. Make it 13. Matthew 23 and 13. Cause I didn't read the whole verse. He said, you ain't brought us into no land to give us our inheritance. He said, you want to put our eyes to these men. We won't come up. I'm going to show you something else what Moses said with these people. Hold on. He said, but woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for you neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore you shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you compass sea and land, to make one proselyte, and when he is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Come on back to number 16. That's what they were doing. Because they were sitting back saying, you didn't allow us to get in this land. You want to make yourself a prince over us. Say, you ain't brought us, he say, you has not brought us into a land that flow with milk and honey, or given us an inheritance of field and vineyards. He said, well, I put out the eyes of these men, we will not come up. Because they like this here. They ain't trying to get in. They trying to stop everybody else from getting in. But look at verse 15, what Moses told these people after they said all that to him. He said, Moses was very wroth and said unto Yah, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. That's why Paul said, you know what type of manner of men we was amongst you that believe. I ain't hurt none of y'all. Paul said, I ain't took nothing out of man's hands that I might not be chargeable to you. I ain't took nothing from you. That's where they get this stuff from. Most say, I ain't took nothing of these people's stuff. Didn't Nehemiah say the same thing? Only thing that I done received is the thing with the set to the side that was for the priesthood. I ain't took nothing from you. I don't want nothing from you. You know you'll be angry then. Come on, man. That's why you sit back and... That's why it ain't even just with that there. Like I told y'all, these dudes out here putting a GoFundMe up for a cookout. I ain't finna be putting no GoFundMe up for no cookout. That's being chargeable unto the people. Well, God set his portion aside for a priest and for a priest. I ain't gonna sit there and tell you, you gotta do this for me. You gotta do that for me. You gotta buy me this. You ain't gotta do nothing. I wouldn't even ask you. Most of y'all who know, I don't ask you niggas for nothing. Cause I ain't gonna be chargeable to you niggas for nothing. Period. I'll do it myself before I ask one of you niggas for it. Because you ain't going to be able to blame God and say I did this and this nigga don't tell me what I want to hear. Because I ain't going to tell you what you want to hear. You know what I'm talking about? You can keep what you got before I tell you what you want to hear. You can keep it and go to hell hearing what you need to hear versus me taking it and telling you what you want to hear. That's why these people be extorting people, because they know what you be doing. They hold that stuff over your head so you can keep giving them so you'll keep giving them your money. Guess what? I don't want it. I do it myself. You know what I'm talking about? Come on down here to about verse 27. That's why he told you better not be consumed in their sins, because he said they're going to make you a twofold more the child of hell than they is. You better stay away from them. That's why the Lord said they sit in Moses' seat. Everything they say, do, but don't do after they work, because they saying don't do now. They hypocrites. So they got upon the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, Abram on every side, and Dathan and Abram came out and stood at the door of the tents, their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moses said, hereby you shall know that Yah have sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. Because my doctrine is not mine, but he is that sent me. If any man do his will, he'll know if the doctrine is mine. Where you think the Lord get that from? The same way Paul sitting there told Timothy that, same way I'm sitting right here with y'all right now. I ain't doing these works of my own mind. If it was up to me, I'd be sitting somewhere chilling. If I had a choice in it. He said, but necessity been laid upon me. Woe unto me if I preach not the gospel. I ain't doing this stuff on my own mind. That's where a lot of y'all get messed up, because y'all be doing stuff on your own mind. You don't have the mind of the Messiah. You do what you want to do. You try to push stuff how you want to push. I got to hurry and wrap this up. I ain't going to hit everything today. Verse 30. He say, verse 29. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after visitation of all men, then Yah have not sent me. But if Yah make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then you shall understand that these men have provoked Yah. And it came to pass, as he made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto them, appertained unto Korah, and all their goods, and they all that appertained went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among all the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, let the earth swallow us up also. And there came out fire from Yah and consumed 250 men that offered incense. Because that variance, going against God, setting yourself against the man of God, cost them their life. Matthew chapter 15, that's the works of the flesh. They didn't inherit the kingdom of God. Y'all see a theme that every time we look at somebody who worked one of the works of these flesh, they perish. Oh, man. What you think gonna happen to you if you working them? Huh? Matthew 15 and 13 now. I'm finna get ready to wrap this up. Matthew 15 and 12. I'm finna get ready to wrap this up. I might have to come back to hit the rest because I can't do this here. It's not the Sabbath. I ain't finna run it that long. Then came his disciples and said unto him, know thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father have not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if they be blind, lead the blind. They both shall fall into the ditch. Blind were leading the blind. All these people died because of variance, because of the works of the flesh. It cost them their life. Y'all hear me? Y'all all right? Let's see if we can hit. Let's look at Galatians 5. Let's see if we can hit one more. Let's see if I got time to hit one more. I got time to hit one more. You know what? I'm going to leave it at that. Matthew 13:47. I'm going to leave it at that. We'll work our way and try to mix some of that stuff in together. I'm going to leave it at that. That's enough for one day. Matthew 13:47. It's 9:30. That's good enough. That's good enough. If as I touch another one, it could be another 20, 30 minutes. And again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to the shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angel shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Yahshua said unto them, have you understood all these things? Y'all understood all these things this evening? And they say unto him, yea, Lord. Then he said unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which bring forth out of his treasure things new and old. Praise ye Yah for Yahshua HaMashiach and the word. Praise the Lord.